Today we are going to open a color landscape practice image. You will use these editing directions to edit your photographs that you take of color landscapes. To get to the practice image, first you will open up Photoshop. Then you will go to File, Open, and you want to make sure that you are going to the P drive. So if you click on Computer up here at the top, right here, you will have access to these various drives. You want to click on Delmar Digital Photo P drive, which is located right here, or you can see it over here on the left side as well. Click on that. Then you're going to go to Photo Demo Examples. Then you're going to go to Landscape Edit Color Practice. Click on image 6229 and open that up. The first thing we are going to do is duplicate this layer. We're going to call it Working Image. And you're going to say OK. All your changes will be made to the Working Image layer. Now we're going to come up here and grab our lasso tool. 1, 2, 3. 3 tools down on the vertical toolbar. Click on your lasso tool. We're going to select the right top section here of the sky by drawing with the lasso tool. Come up here to Refine Edge and go over here to Feather. We're just going to type in 250. You'll see that it feathers out along the edge. Click on OK. Go up to Image Adjustments Levels and move this all the way to the right where the mountain starts. Click on OK. You will notice that the sky got darker. Now do another little section right here. Go to Refine Edge. Do not forget to feather your image. It will feather along the edge. OK. Go back to Image Adjustment Levels and again bring it to where the mountain starts. You will start to see that your sky is getting darker and your cloud details are starting to come out. Now let's do the top left corner here. Refine Edge. Feather 250. You're going to go to Image Adjustments Levels. And again, you're going to move it over, darkening the sky. But this time, don't bring it all the way over. We want to darken the sky. Now we're going to do this left side, bottom corner. Refine Edge. Feather 250. Come up here to Image Adjustment Levels and bring it to where the mountain starts. You should see a difference now. If I turn off the layer by clicking on this little eyeball symbol, you will see how it looked at the beginning and afterwards. Before and after. Before and after. Now it's time to work on lightening the castle. We're going to start at the right bottom corner and draw kind of like a rectangle square shape. Come up here to Refine Edge and again type in 250. This time we're going to go to Image Adjustments Levels, and this time we're going to move it from the right to the left, lightening the image. You should see the castle get lighter. We're using the little white triangle here. Click on OK. Now we're going to do the center. Refine Edge. Feather 250. Image Adjustments Levels, and again we're going to move this slightly over, lightening the center of our castle. Click on OK. Now we're going to do our tower. Make sure that you don't go too far beyond the tower wall. You can see I've left a little space. Go to Refine Edge. Click on Feather 250. Click OK. And come up to Image Adjustments Levels. And again, bring it to from the right over to the left to where the mountain starts. You might want to do the top part just a little bit here, just to lighten this. Go to Refine Edge. Put in 250. Say OK. Oh, it's saying that it won't let me do a 250 selection. So I'm going to do a smaller selection this time on the refine edge. I'm going to try 200 and see if that lets me do it. Okay, it did. Image adjustments levels. Bring it over and it lightens the top of the castle wall a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to do just this part here that's very close to the camera, like it's basically the wall of the bridge. Go to refine edge and I'm going to feather that 250. Image adjustments levels, and I'm going to bring that just over a little bit just to lighten up that wall at the front. Okay. Turn it off, turn it on. You can see here that the castle walls are lighter and that the castle sky has gotten darker. Let's deselect by just clicking over here in the gray area. I'm going to duplicate my working image. I'm going to call it clone layer. I'm going to do some cloning. So now I'm going to show you how you do that. You're going to click on a tool over here on the vertical toolbar. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tools down. You want to right click with your mouse on your clone stamp tool. We're going to make sure we have a 1/18 size brush. I can type that in. And that I've selected a very, very soft brush here on the left corner. Now I'm going to bring that right to the right side of this little white shield that we see above the door. I'm going to hold down my Alt key. You will notice that when I hold down my Alt key, my brush becomes a target. I'm going to left click. But first I'm going to adjust my opacity back up here on opacity to 100%. I'm going to hold down my Alt and I'm going to left click. Now I'm going to bring my clone stamp tool over my shield and I'm going to continue to left click, and you will notice that my shield becomes filled in and it is gone. Before and after. It is very important that you hold down the Alt key and you left click, but then you must release your Alt button in order to do the cloning. So I will then left click as I clone and cover the shield. Now we're going to go ahead and work on this little area over here. I want to take some of the blue sky over here and move it over here to darken this area. Just right in here, not beyond that point. So I'm going to lower my opacity down to about 15%. Because I want to have a very gradual, very slow 13 to 15%. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to Alt left click this blue sky area. Now I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to start left clicking only. I'm not pressing down on my Alt key. I'm just left clicking and I'm filling the sky in. And as I do that, I'm filling in and making it look darker. Now, as I get closer to the wall, I may have to make a smaller brush to fill this in. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to make my brush a little smaller so that I can fill in closer to the wall without cloning the wall. I don't want to clone the wall. So I'm going to click over here, my dark sky, Alt button, holding the Alt button, I'm going to left click, and now I'm going to come over here and fill in this area just right here to the left side of the castle wall. Now I want to make my brush a little bigger because I'm going to blend that in a little bit more. Alt, left click, and I bring that over here and just continue to fill that in a little more. Okay, so now we got the before and now the after. We've got a little bit of blue sky filled in here and it looks pretty good. Before and after. before, and after. That's it. We're only filling in this little area. Not here, not there, not in over here, not here, just right here. Only here. Okay. So now it's time to add in our adjustment layers. Let's come up here. We're going to add in a hue saturation layer. By clicking on this little circle here, half of it is white and half of it is dark. You're going to select hue saturation. This box will come up. You need to adjust these, but not the lightness. You're only going to adjust the saturation. We want to bring it up just a little bit so that our sky color intensifies just slightly, just ever so gradually. Now you can see that I'm doing about 25 or so, 26. It may look different on your computer. You may need to do less or maybe a little more. On the hue, I'm going to bring it up and just make it a little more of a royal blue color sky. Now I'm going to close that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add in my brightness and contrast layer. It opens up this. Now I don't need to add any brightness because we did that with our levels. We just need to add a little bit of contrast, so slide it over and you will notice that it just pops the sky a little bit. But don't do it too much, because if you do it too much you're going to lose detail in the clouds. We want to keep the details in the clouds, so just slightly, maybe about 20, maybe a little less. Just depends on what you need for yours. The final step is to add in a solid color. It's going to be a black solid color, so you're going to click on here and choose the very top one, solid color. You want to activate your solid color layer mask by clicking on it. Make sure a little white box goes around the edge. You're going to come over here and now you're going to select your brush tool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 tools down on the toolbar. We're going to make this 2500, so come over here and put in 2500. That's how big it needs to be, and it needs to be the very left corner soft brush. Now we're going to come over here and change our opacity to about 50, anywhere between 40 and 50%. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to make sure that we have black over white. If you click on this little arrow toggle key, you can see that you can switch between the black and the white. Make sure the black is over the white. Now you're going to swoop across. You're going to see that this top part is getting lighter. Look at our layer mask here. Going across, going across, going across. Go all the way at the top here and make sure all this is lighter. Going across, going across. All right. You should have just a little bit of white along the bottom here. It should be fully black across the top. Now we're going to come over here to our clone layer and we're going to duplicate that layer. We're going to call it Dodge and Burn. Now listen carefully. You can do this Dodge and Burn layer before you add in your hue saturation, before you add in your brightness and contrast, and before you add in the color fill. However, if you did these three, that's not a problem. Just turn them off for right now. Click on your Dodge and Burn tool. How do we turn them off? Well, you click on this little eye tool here. So click on the little eye tool and just turn these off briefly. Now on this Dodge and Burn tool, you're going to come over here and you're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tools. You want to click on the Dodge tool first, okay? So my Dodge tool looks like a little circle with a wand. I want to select midtones and an exposure of about 30%. And I want a small brush. And it needs to be a nice soft small brush. The size of my brush should be about the size of my little tower, top of my tower. About that size right there. So about 57, 60, around there. I'm going to basically lighten the top of the tower a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and dodge this area. How do I do that? I left click. I left click, left click, left click. And what I'm doing is I'm actually lightening this area. So if I turn off my dodge and burn, you can see here before and after. I'm just lightening this up just a tad right here. And I'm going to lighten this top right here as well, the top of the tower and the top of the walls where the stone stands out. I want to lighten this area a little bit. And I'm also going to lighten this right hand side a little bit. And maybe lighten the roses a little bit. So if I turn it off, it looks like that. Before and after. Before and after. I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. And I'm gonna dodge this area just over here a little bit on the wall. Okay. Maybe the door area here. Before and after. Before and after. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my hue saturation, turn on my brightness and contrast, and turn on my vignette, which is my color fill. I am now done and I'm ready to turn this in. When you are done with your landscape editing, you will have a background layer, a working image layer, a clone layer, a dodge and burn layer, a hue saturation layer, a brightness and contrast layer, and a color fill layer. Another tool that you can use is the burning tool. The burning tool does the opposite of dodging. The burning tool makes an area go darker. So if you want, you could go up to your sky and you could burn in your clouds a little bit more if you wanted to. Before and after. Before and after. So you may find that on your landscape pictures that you do, that you need to burn some areas. Okay? And if you do, then that's the tool you want to use. It looks like a little hand. And you will use that to darken an area, and you will use the dodging tool to lighten an area. But make sure you do it on your dodge and burn tool layer, because if you make a mistake, you can always turn it off. You can delete that layer and start over again. Now you're going to want to save this image. File, save as. Go to the P drive, go to digital photo, I'm sorry, not the P drive, go to the P drive, go to the class you're in, either period 1, 2, or 3, whatever class you're in, click on the class, and go to Color Landscapes, and you will save it, your first initial _ your last name, LEP for Landscape Edit Practice.